Hello, welcome to Flower Juice. My name is John McDonald and today I'm going to show you how to make a really simple spring arrangement using just a few different ingredients. Now, the key to this is having a good container and access to some spring materials. So the spring materials I've got are some pear tree branches. So I got this when I was trimming my pear trees. I've got some beautiful forsythia, and I've also got some blossom. Now, I can't tell you exactly what type of blossom this is, but it grows in my hedge. And I think it's a type of wild plum or wild cherry maybe, I'm not sure, but it does have spikes on it, which is quite surprising. So if you've got material like this, which is essentially branch with some sort of flower or branches that are bare, and anything with a punch of colour, then you can make a spring arrangement. So let's begin. So really what I've done is I've got this beautiful container. This container I was given as a gift. It's already quite a striking container, so that gives us a good base. I've filled it pretty much to the top with water. Now, because it has a narrow neck, then we're not going to have any issue with the material being supported, and also with the fact that the stems can't really move around, so there's not a big space like if this was all round that these can really move. So essentially, this is an ideal container, narrow neck, good volume of water, it has a bit of weight. The only thing that I'm wary of with this container is because it is narrow, then there is a possibility that it could fall. So we need to keep that in mind. So let's have a little look at our material. Now this is going to be interesting, how we're going to do it. I quite like the fact that this is round, and I think if we go in a specific direction, so you need to think about where you're going to put your arrangement. I would like to put it so that the direction of the material goes this way. So our main stem is actually just sitting there quite nicely. And the main thing with that is that you want to make sure that it's in water, that there's not any issue with that. Now, any little pieces like this that are going to be underneath the water, we want to remove. But straight away, we've created a bit of visual weight with our container, a line with our branch, and some colour or some highlight with our flower, and also contrast between this heavy branch and this thinner branch. So you could even just make an arrangement like this and leave it like this. But I'd like to add a little bit more material to it. And I've not really got anything particular in mind. And to be honest, that's kind of the way you need to be with making an arrangement like this, is to be flexible and be guided by the actual material itself. Now, I think we should have a bit more blossom. Because I think adding a little bit more blossom is going to strengthen the look of this. But it's also going to give us a little bit more volume that we can work within. So I do like the fact that this is kind of filling this space a little. And we can have a little look. So potentially we could do a branch that comes this way as well. I wasn't really thinking of that, but it's not impossible. Yes, I like that. So this is creating a little bit of a framework into which we can work our highlight flowers. So I think we do need a little bit more of a branch just to bring a little bit more strength back to that initial branch. Now, as long as everything's in water, we're happy, we're good. This is kind of one of those styles that, as I say, you just have to look at the material and work with how it is. And that's the big difference with using like garden material. It doesn't have the uniformity of commercial material, which is really the thing that makes it much more interesting. Yeah. So what I wanted to do there was bring some of that forward. This would be quite easy because this is on a flat plane to keep this quite flat, but I think that would be a shame. So bringing these branches forward, it still strengthens this line, but it is giving a little bit of depth to our design. So now we can add our forsythia, and I thought this works really well with this container because there's that kind of gold bronziness into the actual container. Now, all your spring materials are just going to love being basically directly into water. They're not so good in foam or any sort of kind of contrived sort of arrangement. And actually that's a good point. Flowers in general just are better in water. So, a little bit messy, but that's not a problem. That can still be fun. And we can even bring a little bit to the back as well. So bringing things back a little bit, forward a little bit, that's really going to give you a sense of depth. Now, I do have just a little piece of iris, and I think this is just going to give us a little that's maybe at too much of an angle, but I think we just need something with a little bit of strength back here. Yeah, I like that. It's just giving like a little bit of a repetition of these lines, but taking them on a different angle, which is kind of cute. And then I've got these little narcissus, but I'm not quite sure if I wanted to use them. So I'm going to have a little look and just see how best this would be. I think this is nice. Just bringing that in more as a little group, as opposed to trying to feed them all up. I think this is quite interesting. So we'll keep them quite tight. A bit like how you find them growing. They tend to grow in groups rather than dotted around. So I think keeping it somewhat like a group works quite well. Now, one good way of dealing with narcissus is actually to tie them into like a little bunch. You can do that to help control them, and also just use the bunch then as a grouping in itself. Now, don't want it to fall down into the water, so we can make use of one of those forsythia buds there just to hold that. I'm actually getting quite a nice perfume off this as well. So that's our little group. So this is giving us a focal point in the design. And essentially our design now is finished. But if you wanted, you can add any sort of decorative element. So the other day I was in a second-hand shop and I actually came across these beautiful painted eggs. And I think these are just really, really cute. This one's foam, but these are actually real. And they've been hand painted. And this is just a little tin version as well. So if you wanted, you could add some decorative elements. I think it might be nice just adding one or two. I really like the blue and white ones, but I think we're probably better with just adding the two that are more natural. So, as I say, decorative elements are completely optional. They're completely up to you. If you like them, if you don't like them, you might not be Easter egg orientated. Personally, I like chocolate, so I do like an Easter egg. But there we go. We've got a very light and airy arrangement. Essentially, it's just cut flowers in a vase, but we've really made use of the properties of the materials themselves. So we're really showcasing the colours and the flowers, but also the line of the branches and the interest that there is in the material. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I think it's really nice starting to feel that the year is breaking into spring, and we had a really beautiful day here yesterday, and then today it feels like about 2 degrees because of the wind. So it does put me though in the mood for spring flowers and making some arrangements. So if you are interested in maybe looking at another video, then why not have a look at this design? This was a spring arrangement we did that was using a household container that was just a little bit of fun, but it just shows that anyone can make an arrangement for their home, and you shouldn't be scared not to give it a go. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, then why not click here to subscribe? We've got a new video every week and we'd love you to join us for our next design. So until then, take care and we'll see you soon.